And, some people we don't get to see very often. We're in different groups or no group at all, but I appreciate, I definitely feel the connection sincerely from all of you in the course community. Regardless, it's very sincere, so thank you so much. I've definitely been needing the support recently, so thank you. What I asked the speakers to do, our speakers today are going to be JC, it's going to be Mercy, it's going to be Paul, JC, Mercy, Patty, and then Paul. After, we're going to break for lunch and do some breakout groups, and you'll be with one of the speakers. And he'll figure out how we divide up the groups, and that'll all come to us in due time. After we come back from lunch/discussion group, we will go with Judy Chandler, and then I'll speak and then close out with Phil. Phil will be here shortly. I know he had something to do this morning, but he'll be here very shortly along with Judy. So that'll be our lineup, and we'll just kind of see where Spirit takes us. What I did, I asked all the speakers to consider the topic, the theme, which has come up very heavily and very aggressively lately, which is the body identity and all the guilt that it carries. The bodily identity, which we falsely identify with, as the Course would say, that this bodily identity is not our true identity. Okay, it's not wrong or bad, but how do we use it? If we use it to simply be a body with all of the baggage from the past and all of the pending baggage to come in the future, then the body becomes a burden. It becomes a hellish burden that we carry for a lifetime and try to reconcile and do the best we can, but it does not fill the function that God put it here to fulfill. But if we get inspired by the Holy Spirit, Jesus, to use this same vessel, for the only true purpose of remembering our true identity in spirit, you might call it atonement, of forgiveness, but that unified purpose, single focus for using this physical body in all of our relationships that go with it, and all of our interactions and all of our activities during the day, if we take them all back to the single focus of remembering the truth of God, the light of God, the peace of God, the Spirit of God, in which we are made eternally, single focus completely changes the scope of why we walk around in a physical body. So because this topic of guilt, the baggage of guilt that we carry along with these bodily identities has come up so heavy for me recently, I put it out there to all the speakers to sort of keep front and center in their presentations and in their breakout sessions with people to really address the topic of guilt and how we view ourselves as a human identity and all the guilt baggage we carry within and how it reflects itself in our relationships. This is something that I've shared, again, that a lot of us course students are very guilty of glossing over the attachment of the bodily identity. It's very easy to jump to the part in the course that says this is an illusion and that nothing here matters. It's very easy to do that when you don't really believe it and you really believe that you're stuck in a physical body anchored with all the baggage from the past. Very easy to do that, and I think I and a lot of us have fallen trapped to that practice of trying to jump to this is an illusion here when we're really, really heavily invested in our physical identity and all the baggage of guilt that we're carrying from the past and the pending future. So we don't want to gloss over how much we have invested into this physical identity. We don't want to do that. We want to confront it head on, not fight it, which would make it real. We don't want to fight it, but we want to confront it with the power, the true power, the source, Holy Spirit, God, the Creator, the light, as Paul always reminds us in the meditations, to really invite in the light, to be able to see those crazy thoughts that drag us down in the gutter of guilt. So I really want us to bring that up front and center. Again, I'm not asking people to blurt out confessional here or write down on a white eraser board all the bad junk we thought we did that we should feel guilty about. That's not the point. It's not the point to blurt out something that you're not comfortable with. But the point is that this stuff has to be brought to the light, however you're led to do it. Spirit will lead you to brothers and sisters, supportive partners, mighty companions to help assist you in bringing up the stories that carry guilt and baggage to the light. Spirit will lead you and support you in that, but we have to ask. Our part is asking and being open, but Spirit will lead you very directly to partners, mighty companions, relationships that will allow you to open up and bring the guilt stories to the light. Can't gloss over it, can't get around it. It has to be done, but Spirit will allow it to be done in a way that you'll be supported. People might not want to hear it because some of the things can be very disturbing and upsetting for us that we've repressed in the closet because we've become accustomed to repressing it and shoving it in the closet because that's our defense mechanism here. And we just kind of take the approach, well, I'm going to shove it down in the closet and do the best I can. And how's that worked out for us? You see a bunch of people running around with big smiles on their faces, repressing their guilt. Not really. So, Course is giving us a way out. Holy Spirit's giving us a way out, an escape. But our part is really asking, opening up the Spirit for an avenue, for an escape hatch, for a life vest to surrender, to bring the guilt to the light. It has to be exposed. We cannot gloss over that. So part of our intention today is to really use our interactions with each other, the speakers, the discussion groups, to apply, to practice, not intellectually understand, because the Course in Miracles is not a course on understanding. It's a course on experience. So we want to apply and practice the Holy Spirit, Jesus' guidance, to practice and applying the voice of God, the guidance of God, which is always given to us, to everything that could anchor us to our guilty, false identity, okay? And so think about how to bring in that guidance to really dig deep and unearth the crust of the false identity, which covers over our true identity in spirit, which is pure, unconditional love. So that's going to be our intention. And how it turns out, it's going to turn out perfect. The details always are not in our hands, so we're going to allow that to unfold the way it's going to unfold. And Carmen has given me notice that she's going to give you a gift of some meditation music before you get out of here for free. So thank you so much, Carmen. I will get that to you before we break out of here in the afternoon. So we will start with our first speaker. I'll tell you this dude, I met him several years ago when I started doing my own course. I started the course here back in 2008 with Margie on the Monday night. She's been doing it here for over 30 years. I consider her like if there ever was a guru, I definitely consider her a guru, but she practices what she preaches. So I started my own group a few years after that. Didn't have a lot of people coming, but it was okay. It was just about practice. And so this guy used to pop in on the group when he would come in from out west. And what I always noticed about him first was his tan. I was always rocking a great tan. And he had cool hats. That's what I noticed about him. So he would pop into groups periodically, and he was like me. He was very new to the course. So we had a lot of good conversations about what it is, and we spent a lot of time talking. Sometimes it was just him and I when he would be in town. Sometimes it was just me because we didn't have a lot of people coming to the group. And so we'd share a lot about what is the Course in Miracles? How do we use it? What does this stuff mean? Spend a lot of time trying to intellectualize and break it down, which of course we know that's not what it's about, but that was where we were at the time, if you remember some of us that were coming to those early groups. And but one of the things that he did do eventually was he really started getting in deep to the practice of the course. And then I definitely saw his experience shift, the way he ingrained the message from the Course in Miracles, from Jesus in the Course, started to really reflect in his being and the way he saw things. I could really feel it every time he would come back probably every 6 months from out west. And every time he came back, I would definitely feel a shift in his awareness. It was pretty cool because as he was shifting and going deeper, I was doing the same thing. And so even from afar, when we didn't see each other, we definitely supported each other in the path. We had a lot of similar experiences that we were able to relay with each other. So I will call out the brother with the great tan and the great hats, and I'm gonna and the audio, the George Clinton. I know the audio.
Oh yeah, we were supposed to play Parliament Funkadelic.
Funkadelic, I know, yeah. And so thank you.
Anybody bring roller skates? Disco ball.
So
don't take this shit seriously. Laugh a little.
And we need to. When you really get into the practice of the Course, that's the cool thing, is that you can learn to not take anything here in this very serious life too seriously. I know we get hung up on that, but that's the beautiful sort of side effect of the Course, is that you learn to look at everything here as the same sort of distraction coming from the same projector, and then it becomes lighter, But again, that's kind of like the after effect of really being able to ingrain the vision from Spirit. That's the cool thing. So JC definitely reminds us of that. So JC, brother man.
Whoever told you. Bullshit.
So see if you can, as they used to say, kick some knowledge. See if you can kick some knowledge to us about how to bring in Holy Spirit's guidance to address that guilt of the bodily identity and rock and roll. Thank you. So give it up for JC, people.
So far.
Okay.
So who can't hear what we're saying? Can you hear me? Or do you want me to talk into this ridiculous device?
Yeah.
That's what, so who's going to hold the mic the whole time? All right. So, none of this is serious. Don't take any of this serious. That book, all the words in it, it's not about sullen faces, like we learned. Because remember, it says in there, we don't want anything that we've learned from the past, to get rid of all of it. Before we go into, the stuff for the test later, we have a joke. I was going to use the one our brother told us, but I forget some of it, so the punchline would suck. So there's two beings. What do you call two beings? A man, a woman, two men, two women, whatever, driving down the road with a mattress on their car. Anyone? No one? Gosh, really? See, if this was a comedy club, there would be people saying stuff. Hookers that make house calls. Right? Isn't that what you think of every time you see somebody with a... All right, whatever. You guys are going to liven up before the end of the day, right? I mean, geez, I didn't put on this ridiculous outfit for seriousness. All right. Hey, you can read this out loud.
Okay.
Ooh. See, the whole point of standing up here is not having to do anything.
The body, my body, your body, this body does not really exist.
So everybody gets that, right? Come on. You get that you've had experiences where this really isn't you. I mean, as much as you like it and as ridiculous as that may be, and, costumes and whatever, it's not us. It can't be us, because this is the direct representation of separation. And as we know from that book, the other book, one of the 4,800 versions that are out there, we are as God created us. We are not this body. This body, as the book says, yell it.
Except as a learning device for the mind.
All right, so that's the last one you have to read. So the body is nothing except a learning device for the mind. That's all that's there. And every moment we can use the body to remember our unity, the truth of who we are, or we can dance around, have a little fun, go roller skating, do whatever we're doing, and buy into the bullshit that we are separate. You know, we all have bodies. We all brought our bodies here. We all showed up in a body. They just appear to be in different sizes, shapes, colors, sexes, you know. But the truth is all the same. So the trick is not to get focused on what the body's doing, what it's dressed up as, what it's saying, but remember what's really going on. Because remember, the mind that judges perceives itself as separate. So when we're looking at our brothers and sisters, and you know, because none of us have ever done this, that SOB or that, oh my gosh, over there, we are projecting that guilt out.
Yeah.
The guilt from that crazy ass thought where we remembered not to laugh and thought that we could be separate. Now we're projecting it out, hence the bodies. And if they're guilty, guess what? I can feel better about myself. But when we do that, do we really feel better? We think it's because of what they're doing and saying, right? Because that's what we've been taught.
Yeah.
But it's because we know that's us. And we're condemning ourselves. We are condemning ourselves, going, man, if you were different, life would be good. And it's not, because you're not acting right. I mean, seriously, you're standing up in front of people at a church dressed like whatever the hell you're dressed like. I mean, that's not proper. That's not right. That's judgment. That's that guilt going out. So we can feel better about ourselves, but of course we don't feel better about ourselves when we do that. We tell ourselves that we do, but we don't. Yeah, you guys, we can make photocopies of this crap later. So remember, it was the acceptance, our acceptance when we had that tiny mad idea of guilt into the mind of us, the child of God, was the beginning of punishment. And that sentence says, was the beginning of punishment. Was. What does the word was infer according to the meanings? I don't know why. According to the meanings that we've given the word was. It's the past, right?
Yeah.
Lesson 7. There is no past. Lesson 8. My mind is preoccupied with past thoughts. So that concept of guilt is the past. It's the past. If we're here now using the body to remember, to join, to practice, to apply the crazy-ass ideas in this book and every other book, we can use it to remember the truth and wake up. Or we can keep pushing that guilt out and projecting it on the world. Hence, the world is the direct reflection of guilt. Because as shiny and juicy as it may be, oh, there's always that underlying hook that's going to kick our ass.
Yeah.
It's always there.
Yeah.
So the body can be used and is used if we are open and willing, rather than... Mercy said something about, you know, the something mind does not plan, the guilty, the free mind, whatever.
The healed mind.
Yeah, thanks,
does not
honey.
plan.
The healed mind. Yell it. The healed mind.
The healed mind does not plan.
So we do that by asking, as Gonzalo said. We ask, rather than getting up in the morning and saying, hey, I need to do this, this, and this in order to get this, this, and that, and take care of this and do that. Hey, let me use this for what it truly is for. Then we don't have all the pains and discomforts in it because we're using it for the holy purpose, as opposed to reinforcing our belief in separation. So it's a choice in every moment. The Course says fear or love, every moment. What are we using the body for? What are we using our brother and sister's bodies for? Are we projecting that guilt onto them, trying to get something, trying to make ourselves feel better? Or are we using it to wake up? Are we using it to practice? We can talk about the bullshit and who's in office and what happened over here and what's going on over there, and turn it back to, oh, that's right, I'm not a body. I am free, for I am still as God created me. This stuff wants to distract me. This stuff wants to grab my attention and get me to look at it, hence the crazy-ass outfit. Ignore it. This isn't what it's about. It's about not here. There's a mind in there somewhere. It's about the mind. It's about healing the one mind that we all have, that we all share. That's what unifies all of us. The drawing of us to those other beings, in truth, is to remember. It's to remember. But normally we're going there, oh, I know Paul, and you know what? I don't have $68 trillion for the murder rap that I'm up on charges for, so I need to go use him. I need to get something from him. Rather than, oh, as Gonzalo said at the beginning, this being is brought to me, not to clear me of charges, not to get me out of jail. No, to heal my perception that I need something here to be different. Nothing here needs to be different except for our perception of the people, places, and things. That's it. That's the only thing we need to change, is our perception of everyone and everything. And we use the body to do that by always going within, reminding ourselves who we truly are. Yeah, I came in this color. I'm this size. I'm this shape. And I think that color is bad. That color is bad. You're not supposed to be wearing. Yeah. That's that. I don't love me because I think I'm separate. So I'm going to push my guilt on you and push you away from me. Yet no matter how, have you ever noticed, no matter how much we attempt to push our brothers and sisters away, they magically come back. Can't keep them away. Maybe that individual doesn't come back, but some other SOB comes back and is saying the same shit to us. Why? What are they doing? We are making it happen to heal our mind. Remember, trials are lessons repeated once again. The bodies may change, the events, the situations, and they all may change. They always change. It's all for the same purpose. Am I using it to join, or am I using it to separate? Am I using the body to get something, to validate this individual belief that I am something, or am I using it to remind myself of the truth? So remember, it's an opportunity, our brothers and sisters, when that judgment comes up, that projection of guilt, as you see them, that seemingly separate brother or sister, whatever color, size, shape, sex, hair they have, you see yourself. If you see them as guilty, you're buying into the belief you're a body and you're condemning yourself. No harm, no foul. Remember, we're all innocent. It's not like you're going to get punished. He's going to make you go to detention, stay after school, and write, lesson 1 through 50 300 times. But what are you using the body for? Are you looking past, are we choosing to look past the forms, what they're saying and doing, and remember the truth? Remember, we're feeling bad every time we're doing this. Every single time we're doing this, that's us we're pointing the finger at. That's not some separate being because they're a different color, they're a different sex, they're a different size. That's me. And not the me that we think that we are, the truth of us. So your brothers and sisters today, make a practice today, every moment, when you start feeling that, oh, that's right, I love you, thank you. Thank you for reminding me I can interact with you differently. I can say that I love you because by loving you, I'm loving me, which starts restoring our mind, which starts healing our mind. That's what all the lessons are doing, are changing the way we see everyone and everything. And are you having a really good time walking around going, oh, that fucking bad. I can't believe that. Oh, that rotten. Oh, how does that make us feel at the end of the day? Looking, going, man, if they were, oh, boy, those, no wonder we're worn out and exhausted at the end of the day. We've been spending all day kicking ourselves in the ass. We've been condemning ourselves all day. Rather than saying, you know what? I love you. Maybe I don't agree with what you're doing, but I know I love you. Because past all the crap that the eyes, these stupid things from the body are telling me, that's not real. That's not real. That's the direct representation of a belief that I could be separate from God. So love your brother and sister, give them a hug, pat on the ass, kiss. Just say thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for the opportunity to heal this belief in guilt, because we let go of the belief in guilt, and there's no separation with us and our Father, or mother, or daughter, or whoever you want to label it as. Be open and willing to change the perception of the bodies that you see in front of you. Get over what they're wearing, the color of the skin, the size, what they're doing. Look past it. Ask to have your perception change the moment you feel the finger coming out, pointing. Boy, ooh. You're hurting yourself. Nothing needs to change. Nothing needs to change. A healed mind doesn't plan. Why? Because it knows everything is okay. It knows everything is okay. The only thing that needs to be healed is my perception of everyone and everything. That's it. Simple. So, put on your roller skates. Put a little George Clinton on. I don't know. Janis Joplin, whatever floats your boat. Have a good time. Relax. Enjoy the interaction with your brother and sister. We all share a self. We are all Christ beyond the bullshit. And that's the opportunity presented to us in every moment to remember not who they are, what they really are. Is that you telling me I gotta go? All right. I'm going to go with her. Hey, peace. Love you.
Thank
Have a
you.
good day.
Thank you. Thank you, JC. And very spiritually.
Show them the pose. Come on, show them the pose.
As part of our very spiritual exercise, everybody, like you said, is going to have to spiritually line up and smack you in the ass in those cute pants. Hopefully we feel really spiritual after doing that.
Yeah. If you don't feel spiritual now, you'll never feel spiritual.
Thank you, JC. Appreciate it.